The problem of xenophobia. Xenophobia in South Africa is becoming a disease of our society's ills, perpetrated by our ignorance and lack of understanding principles governing immigration and integration of foreigners in any normal society. Killing of innocent African people who trade in local communities is unacceptable. Terrorizing them to make them displaced is an unreasonable, poor social gesture of misrepresenting our democratic values, inspired by our political ideology to coexist with other people and other race groups. The need to educate South African people across the board about foreign policies of immigration is becoming vital. Marginalizing foreigners who are legal political asylums requires community input and acceptance by our government that we have a serious problem that needs our undivided attention. The Botswana and Swaziland foreign policy representation of keeping and managing the safe inflow and outflow of African immigrants should be researched and perhaps emulated and deployed to fast-track processes to normalize our dire situation. Eliminating of criminal elements in the equation to avoid a vicious cycle cannot be ignored if we are to fight the scourge and eradicate it completely. Sense of agency to identify the causes and sources of xenophobia instead of resorting to managing crisis and reacting to the effects thereof should be something this government must try and change in order to gain citizens' confidence back. Our society needs to commit to a plan of action and stop talking about why, who, and where. Every South African citizen should try and participate in a solution-finding mechanism to tone down the dilemma. It is rather too late to leave everything in the hands of the politicians. If we are to make a radical, tangible, and visible positive change, we must apply a different strategy in order to get different results. Because if it has happened in 2008, there is a likelihood that it will happen again in the future. South Africa and its people need to establish and document declarations of intent and individual pledges to support and sustain this change. This change should be a long-term goal and should come in different forms from individual pledges and visions to get to the bottom of the crisis. A continued dedicated effort should be applied to stabilize and control any further damages that might arise instead of assuming it will not happen again. We as citizens are the only entities to issue guarantees to ourselves if we must expect our peace of mind and stability to prevail. And this peace of mind and stability will come at a price. This price will be a sacrifice of something that will be reflected in our declarations and visions to realize our success. To wish xenophobia away is to act childish and pretend the problem does not belong to us, the citizens of this country, but foreigners themselves. Everyone should take responsibility to contribute something, to say the least. After all, we are all in this together. Sooner or later, the scars and consequences of ignoring it will one day come back to haunt our society if we leave it unchallenged and unresolved. My plea is to make a commitment today to affect the change you want to see happen. Peace.